Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to this BPO Connect webinar on outsourcing and increasing capacity in your firm. My name is Catherine Gallen and I'm your presenter today. We'll be looking at increasing capacity to take on more work or grow services through a few angles. I'll share some ideas on how incorporating technology can save you time. We'll look at increasing capacity through resourcing solutions. Then we'll address how to go about making changes to obtain capacity. And finally, I'll share ideas on how to put that newfound capacity to better use. So what might you be looking for in terms of extra capacity? Well, as a quick recap on the digital disruption happening in the accounting industry, compliance is being commoditized by technology, which means that clients, instead of paying you for that report, are paying the technology like Xero or QuickBooks to put together an automatic report. And just a side note here, switching to cloud accounting is supposed to help accountants be more efficient and enable you to price better, but that doesn't happen if you don't readjust your cost structure. That is, if you're billing by the hour for a job and that time is cut in half, you might particularly be feeling this compliance pinch. So what else is happening? Your competition is sourcing labor for less by tapping into business process outsourcing. You might not have the capacity to take on more work because labor in Australia is just too expensive. And on top of the overheads, you have to deal with HR issues when your competition is outsourcing work for cheaper, faster, and often better. And finally, maybe you know you can make a margin by offering additional services if you only have the time and resources. Maybe you haven't figured out where your time is most valuable, and that's okay because I'll share some ideas with you in a few moments. Now, your clients are using cloud technology, which means you should be too. Consider this. We don't go online anymore. We live online. According to Google, the vast majority of web searches are now completed on smartphones. So now, what business areas should you look at in terms of technology? If you have a website that isn't responsive, that is, does not scale with the browser size, then the website is out of date. Google is now punishing websites that are not optimized for mobile by pushing them farther down in search results. Another thing, how are you communicating with clients? How frequently do you email to touch base with them? Are you emailing tax returns? What about the security concerns? Government bodies in the UK, like the IACO, and in the US recommend at least encrypting personal information. Alternatively, you can use cloud accounting systems to email the client when it's ready for them to sign into that secure portal and e-sign. Also, how are clients sending you information? Are they emailing sensitive data? Perhaps you can get them to upload directly to the portal. If you communicate the changes you are making for enhanced security measures, chances are your clients will love you for better protecting their data. Now, about getting paid. You might have seen a recent article in Accountants Daily titled "Accountants Missing Out on 18K," and it had to do with accountants not invoicing up front and not chasing debtors. So e-signatures and cloud applications also make it easier for you to onboard a new client or enable your clients to quickly accept a quote and collect direct debit or credit card details on the spot. Another area you can look at. If you aren't using cloud accounting system, then you're seriously missing out on the easiest way to enable extra capacity because your staff can work from anywhere, anytime, all in one live version of the client file. So whether you have work at home staff or staff in other countries, your options for growing your practice greatly expand with a central and easily accessible system. Then you can also take a look at other processes that can be migrated to the cloud around document management, administration to CRM, and job management systems. So I'll be discussing moving to the cloud in our next webinar, so be sure to tune in as I explore this more in depth. Finally, accountants are still the trusted advisor to their clients, so you can help clients move their businesses to the cloud and embrace technology so that they stay competitive in their respective markets. Lead by example by incorporating technology into your firm first to get paid faster and communicate more securely. Then use your practice as a model to help your clients. So now if you need resources to increase your capacity, you should look at various types of outsourcing based on your business needs. Do you need seasonal work or an entire bookkeeping division? Do you need someone to handle just the overflow work or do SMSF administration? At BPO Connect, we talk about outsourcing to an outcome. What is it that you're looking for? If you're looking for assistance with overflow work or want to start by trialing, then a unit-based model of outsourcing is based on that job transaction, such as a tax return, BAS, or SMSF administration preparation. This allows for flexible engagement where each job is quoted up front. In an FTE, or what we call full-time equivalent model, you'll have a dedicated resource or resources in specialist areas that you need. Your dedicated resources are sourced and trained by the outsourcing provider, who also handles any HR issues, pays them their super equivalent and time off, and covers overheads. So if you're looking to grow, then taking on a full-time resource may be the best way to get there. And if you're looking to establish your own team abroad, then you should consider the build, operate, and transfer model, which takes the FTE model one step further, whereby ownership and responsibility of your team is transferred back to you. If you're looking for a lot of extra capacity, this is one of the best ways to quickly scale while keeping costs to a minimum. Remember, no two outsourced providers are the same, so be sure to check our website for a checklist of questions you can use to vet providers. Now, how does outsourcing work? What does it mean to your Australian staff? It means that they can do more complex and value-adding tasks. Let's start at the bottom of this work complexity pyramid. Let's say you have Australian accountants, or perhaps junior accountants doing that ground level work like compliance preparation, senior accountants doing review and compliance work, managers and directors who do some consultant but often don't have as much time to spend on more strategic planning. You can choose to hand off non-core work to an outside provider. This means everyone moves up a rung. So your overseas team is doing time-consuming prep work, your accountants can be reviewing compliance, and your senior accountants, managers, and directors doing the more complex tasks. So now how do you implement change? First, you'll want to do an internal needs-based assessment or analysis with the other partners in your firm to prioritize and come up with a consensus on that change. Having buy-in from your team is vital, for any change met with resistance could stall or fail. A 2015 Smith survey found that the greatest barrier to cloud adoption was resistance from a staff member inside the accounting practice. And so if you have someone who's a dinosaur, you need to think carefully about where you want your practice to be in 5 and 10 years, and if they'll hold you back. Once you have your team on board and know who will spearhead the change internally, you'll want to find an external expert who can help you reach that target. If you think you can manage switching systems by yourself and stay up on top of your normal workload, then you might just go crazy. Well, now if you don't want to go crazy, hire an expert. You can engage an outsourcing provider on a project basis to help you move to the cloud. Again, the topic for our next webinar. Someone who has done this before can assist with the process mapping, set realistic deadlines, and alert you to possible setbacks. So whoever is spearheading the change internally should be communicating the goals and outcomes, stages and processes, and so forth to staff. So you maintain that support within your firm. Remember, big change takes time, so plan ahead and be prepared. So what can you do and plan to do with the extra capacity once you have it? Well, if you look at this cross-selling relevant services to clients, what's an easy way? And I've put together a good visual matrix to identify the gaps and opportunities. It's also a good starting point to look at the type and number of clients to know what client types you need more of and which ones you might want to let go because they're actually costing you money. You might also calculate the average fee per client and analyze your costs and margins on products. Now, how else can you capitalize on the extra capacity? Look at additional services you can offer, especially in regards to that strategic planning and advisory. Some of the services I've listed here can be provided by an outsourcing company and white labeled by you, such as bookkeeping and debt collection. And you can price these services on their perceived value and charge up front. Now, it's up to you to create that value, but here's just a few examples. Now, to break down advisory a bit more, you can look into building out business coaching for each client, a service that is truly tailored to their needs and puts them on a program. Remember that pyramid model. Directors or partners can deliver premium advisory services, like a business planning day for one or for several of your clients at, let's say, 2 to 3K. And you can do this annually or offer monthly advisory sessions at maybe 2K a month. You might even package several services together in a bundle per client. And with that extra capacity, whether you plan to grow through referrals or web search, you need to work on your marketing and sales. When was the last time you looked at your marketing plan? Who's your ideal client, and how can you get their attention? Do you really know the answers to these questions? Could a junior accountant perhaps engage a prospective audience on social media? Can you spend some time innovating? Could you create a client dashboard or automate sending free management reports? You can work on testimonials or go after awards to show that you're the best. You can also communicate better with clients and prospective clients, showing how your firm is cloud first or discussing your expanded service offering. Can you send out more newsletters and offers to start conversations with your clients and bring in more work? These are just a few of the ways you can put that extra capacity to better use. Well, that about wraps up today's webinar. I hope you've garnered ideas on how to increase capacity in your practice and what to do with it. If you have any questions about the material I've covered today, please don't be shy. Just give us a call or visit our website and leave us a question. Speaking of visiting our website, remember to sign up now for our next webinar. Thank you for your time and see you at the next one.